Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, this is actually a little bit on the exciting side because PlayStation actually has a huge update when it comes to PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, as I'm sure you guys have probably heard quite a bit on this channel these past few days in terms of leaks, in terms of specs, in terms of kind of their goals, release dates, and everything else in between, we've actually gotten a lot of information. There's actually a little bit of brand new information as well for them kind of trying to go and see the high level of where they're trying to go and push the specs and what they're aiming for. Now, this is also talking about the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, which is the PSSR, which is like kind of some brand new PlayStation technology. That's probably be a pretty big game changer when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, as I said, we did go cover up a lot of news in the PlayStation 5 Pro, so if you guys don't mind, but it does seem like the likelihood of it coming out this year does seem quite a bit more likely, quite a bit more better, and I'm actually getting very excited for it too as well. So let me know in the comment section down below if you guys want to go buy one or not. And as well, if you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed. We have a promotion going on right now with Samsung, link down below for their giveaway, and as well, also their pre-order sign up as a hashtag ad, but really cool, so check it on out if you guys would like. And we also have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We'll be playing some games and chill, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Let's go and dive on into the video itself. So PlayStation, as you guys know, I just covered, is trying to go plan up a PlayStation 5 Pro, and more leaks keep on coming out. They do have a little bit of an update for their GPUs, their CPUs, but on the same, a little bit more extra memory, and just overall will be a slightly better console for most likely a slightly higher price, and probably pushing some higher standards. But one thing a lot of people have been curious on is what is the super resolution that PlayStation have, and what exactly, how does that help? Like, what is it going on with it? What's the vibe with it? Do we want to actually have this? Is it like good, like ray tracing? Is it AI? What is it? And basically right now we're going to talk about this because even more information came out from today from Inside Gaming, talking about how PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or the PSSR, is aiming for a 4K 120 FPS or an 8K 60 FPS. Now, you guys may not understand how big of news this is, but this is astronomically big news because right now I myself don't even think on my normal PC I have right now, which is thousands of dollars, could run a proper 8K 60 FPS game. 4K 120 could probably have it happen. I wouldn't doubt it. So maybe in theory 8K 60 would work, but I've never had like most games optimized and utilized for 8K, and my own monitor itself is not even an 8K monitor. So I could even test and see. So right now this is like a huge jump right now in terms of what they're expecting to do. Now, AI and the super sampling, like resolution, all this type of stuff that people are utilizing is very good technology in terms of optimizing and improving resolutions when it comes to gaming as a whole. But this is going to be the more big news that we saw such a huge and massive graphics bump, where the PlayStation's new Spectral Super Resolution PSSR, which will be first be integrated into the PlayStation 5 Pro, is internally aiming for 4K 120 FPS and 8K 60 FPS console gaming, Insider Gaming has learned. The news comes following this week's leaks of the PS5 Pro, which revealed that the PlayStation 5 Pro, codenamed Trinity, will be incorporating the PSSR to upscale to higher resolutions. Currently, the PSSR works on the SKD 9.0 in the PlayStation 5 Pro to bring to 4K resolution. So either way, like we've been hearing rumors about the 8K, but everyone thought it was going to be 8,000 resolution, 30 frames, and then 4K maybe like 60 as the standard, instead of these even higher numbers of 4K 120 and 8K 60, which is a huge bump. Like, just think about it this way. Imagine like a Spider-Man game. Like, if you have that, like, say, 4K 30 FPS, that's cool, that looks nice compared to the 1080p performance mode, and that's still a big improvement either way. But they're basically trying to go make everything bumped up by one more on both ends. So a better frame rate on 4K, and then better resolution with that same standardized frame rate too as well. Like, some games right now, even on the PS5, are literally 4K 30. So imagine an 8K 60 as a standard. That is a double whammy big bump, and that's actually really big. And it seems like they're utilizing AI and they're kind of like cool integrated PlayStation AI, like super sampling, super resolution technology to utilize this. Like, they're basically just using AI to fill in the blanks to make sure the end result is good for all users. Now, I know there is a little bit of an apprehensiveness when it comes to AI and a little bit of a weird, I guess, vibe with it. Like, I get it. I understand it. But one thing to note is that if it's purely like their own technology being utilized, I think it's a good thing. Now, I'm not a big fan of AI when it comes to, say, art, and they're stealing art from other outside aspects that they do not own. But when it comes to them utilizing their own technology for upscaling, it just kind of is like, hey, we have a block. How do we copy and paste this block to make it easier on our system so we could have a whole wall? And like that's to me that's fine. Like I'm not the most hard strung up on a wall of bricks or grass or trees being copied because it's kind of background stuff. But it being nicer makes the game look nicer. But it just being copy and paste, it doesn't really affect the gameplay at the end of the day. Now, if it changes up gameplay for storytelling, voice acting, like artwork itself, that would affect me, but this is fine. So Insider Gaming has also revealed the more specs on the PS5 Pro, which we talked about in prior videos, but outlined in documents provided but to Insider Gaming are the condition that they're not made public. So this is kind of a big leak as is. PlayStation's ambitions with the PSSR is to achieve 4K 120 FPS and 8K 60 FPS. Whilst these are not the target for the PS5 Pro due to hardware limitations, it is the internal goal for the PSSR in future console interactions. The PlayStation 5 Pro PSSR currently supports 1340 by 2160. It's currently aiming for 4K 60 and 8K 30, but it's unclear if these internal milestones can even be passed. So as of right now, it's basically saying like their long-term goal by utilizing this is to bump up higher. So 4K 120, 8K 60. Currently, right now, it seems like no matter what, 4K 60, 8K 30 will be working. That's kind of been the standardized that I keep on like recommending myself. So if they can push this even higher, that'll be huge. They're saying the PSSR memory requirement is roughly 250 megabytes, 180 megabytes from the PSML library, and 64 from the game. And this is like big because they're basically just very optimized, and they're using like this extra optimization and technology to make sure all these future products are going well. Where they have one game testing, saying, these are also first-party games, so you guys know. It'll probably make more sense for first-party games because they can be a little more optimized, more in-house, can kind of cut the fat, while third-party games maybe not so much. But they have the standard PlayStation 5 performance mode was at 1080p at 60, fidelity mode 1800p at 30, but the PlayStation 5 Pro was at 1440p at 62 as well. And then game 2, target add ray tracing to gameplay. And then the standard PlayStation 5 achieved 60 FPS without ray tracing, and PlayStation 5 Pro achieved 60 FPS with ray tracing too as well. So these are maybe not the best things to go compare on like live actual actions on like, individual games because we want to see 8K. But it does seem like it's confirming that higher resolutions, so such as like, 1440p at 60, utilizing this PSSR, it does show that this technology is being utilized and is also working. Like this is actually great to see that they're pushing out these huge leaks. I wish I could maybe give like a bigger picture, basically saying they're using this cool technology to make resolutions and frame rates a little bit better. Now we have been seeing a lot of these big leaks too as well from Moore's Law is Dead, where they have like this once again, the iterations on the 250 megabytes of memory, and this is saying that they added the 180 megabytes that comes from the PSLM library from the PlayStation machine learning. So we basically were talking about this before, where there is actually a very large utilization of memory on like these GPUs and their memory of the consoles itself, but I think that's okay. Like at the end of the day, they can, number one, pull all this technology together through the use of AI and through the use of everything else. And when you have samples of thousands, if not millions of people, they can fine-tune and optimize this stuff very, very well. But on top of that, that also means that they do have a pure allocation to using the super sampling. So it's basically saying, like, we need to have a horse to pull a cart, and we have to have another horse to go and, let's say, pull a different cart. I don't know. So you have two carts being pulled at the same time. So we have one horse that's purely for trying to make the game run better, a resolution better, like FPS better, and run the game normally. So think about the one that's running it normally is like the PlayStation 5, and that's it. That's all I have. But then you have the PlayStation 5 Pro using this really cool PlayStation sampling. They have them both running at the same time. So a slightly better card. So you have more bandwidth. These are bad metaphors, but hopefully you guys are following along. You have a single lane road, one horse going, PS5 game. A double layer road, two horses running together at the same time. Same exact horse from PlayStation 5 running the game, so it's going fine. Imagine like a 1080, 60 FPS normal game going over there 4K 30. But since you have that secondary horse pulling that same load behind them, that means they can carry a heavier load, and that same technology pushes forward them to have stuff such as like the super sampling, this PlayStation like AI usage or whatever on their technology with these better GPUs, etc. And because a better GPU is a wider street, and that means that all this technology pushed together can then also have upscaling and then 4K and focus on frames, on that secondary horse, while the first horse is still pushing for gameplay. I really hope those metaphors are good. Those are off the top of my head, but I think it makes sense. Like, just basically, you have a better GPU, wider hideaway, more cars can go together. You have two things pulling together. You can pull more. If you have two buddies pushing something, two buddies pulling something behind their backs, you can usually go and pull more. It makes sense. Think about horse carriages. You have one horse, one person's riding it. You have a horse carriage. You have a whole family behind it. It allows more for like kind of free flowing for technology. Hopefully this makes sense. But at the end of the day, this is huge for the PlayStation 5 Pro, and I'm excited. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We also do have all the Amazon links. We have our nice little brand new Samsung links and everything too as well. So I appreciate y'all for watching here in the first place.